Welcome back, my delinquents. We have a case today, my brothers, and it's gonna blow your mind at how ridiculous it is. And I can't even say the word, I think, on YouTube. I'm not 100%, so we're just gonna sparkle it here in a second that there was a VTuber who wanted to commission or dress up as a sparkle word here. Yes. It'd be like, why? And we're going to go over that because I don't think there's a really good reason why. And I'm going to give you my tinfoil hat theory. And again, it's a theory, not 100%. So don't go, Dale's trying to give us the propaganda or, I don't know, force you to believe what I believe. I just think it's like, it's in the back of my mind as like a possibility. It's the reason they did it. But we're going to go on what's publicly out here because they were called out for this. And a lot of people had their 2 cents on it, a few VTubers, and I feel like a lot of people make some good points of why this ruffles people's feathers, or why it's just kind of tasteless, especially seeing how it's portrayed as it kind of just dropped out of nowhere, no setup, no joke, no nothing. It's a bit odd. And apparently this is not the person's first forte into drama. Apparently they got in trouble under a previous account, so who knows? I don't remember it, so I can't say. But let's get into this case, and you don't have to believe me. You can find out for yourself. Let's get into it. So this is the part where it's first going around, put around by Sage, or @TrashySage on Twitter. Around 3,000 likes, 138,000 people saw this, so it made the rounds. And I think this was just a very normal conversation between them. Not 100% sure. We'll see if we can click onto it because it was a couple days I first researched this story. I need art of me in a uniform. Please tell me you're hacked or something. Nah. Apparently they were mutuals and this just kind of came out of nowhere. So, okay, yeah, I'm going to block that. If you don't like something or that's not your kind of content, I think the block is fine. A lot of people act like you can't block anyone. It's like the whole point is so you don't get their posts. Or they don't see your post. That's it. It's not like a big stance, 100%. You can just block someone because you're like, I don't like that. I don't like that content. Not for me. Bye, out. And this kind of took a lot of people as a surprise. It's not the first time something like this has happened, but if you're one of the people that say politics should be left out of VTubing, you should probably have the same energy for this because this is a weird forte into politics or I guess beliefs. I'm not really sure on that one, but I do think it's a bit distasteful, especially seeing she just dropped this out of nowhere. This is like a very random thing to just say. That's a block for me. They also tend to oversexualize me a lot. Oh, what the fuck? Oh lord, I have a line that crossed the line. That's fine. Everyone has different lines, and that's fine. Everyone has different stuff. And this goes into a lot of people talking about it. Talado talks about it slightly because I bring up this fact that of this hypocrisy a couple times, that a lot of people don't want politics in VTubing until it's something they think is funny, and then it's fine. I went on Twitter and saw a VTuber wanting to commission art of themselves wearing a shirt. I generally cannot take some of these motherfuckers seriously. I have to say, that was my first thought too. It's like, I can't take people like this seriously. Like, who woke up today and thought this was the smartest thing to do? And this kind of takes me into my theory of why I think this person did this. I didn't want to go into it until we got to their posts because they don't take it seriously. They say it's just a joke. And then they keep doubling down, saying they're going to do it anyway. And they're going to do it as a lolly and all this other crap. And it says to me, I think they're trying to get some attention and pander to a certain demographic. Because, no offense, my brothers, to anyone this may affect, but the new easiest target in VTubing and streaming is no longer the lonely gamer guy who wants a Discord kitten or something. It's the niche opinion part of VTube who's usually a guy, who's usually womanless, usually lonely, usually has extreme opinions that most women don't hold. And it's becoming increasingly easier to pander to them. Because if you do, you will get a very easy audience. And a lot of people are picking up on that. And that's just my conspiracy theory of why I think this was dropped and then doubled down upon. Because I'm seeing it more and more as where people are trying to pander to this demographic because they have money and they're really easy to sink your claws into and get a community from. Funny enough. And I didn't want to offend anyone there if this slightly touches upon you, or call any guys lonely, but I do think it's becoming the new target for a lot of new up-and-comers because it is so hard to break into these scenes. And that's something as a viewer you have to like look into, is if you're just being pandered to get to your money. If that bothers you. If it doesn't, that's fine, I guess. But if it does bother you, genuine behavior and stuff like that, it's something to keep in mind that some people will just do these things because it's breaking them into the market. And that's just my conspiracy theory. Tinfoil hat off. Just because this was so random, that's what comes to mind for me. From Saphira, that dumbass motherfucker when it's a joke, guys. Who left? Oh my god. Oh hey, if I had a nickel for every time someone wanted to reference something related to shit in the past couple of weeks, I'd have two, which isn't much, but it's crazy. Yes, seeing they're talking about the fact someone wanted to make an asset of Elon Musk and called it an N salute. It was like a bit weird. Sylvie says here, keep politics out of VTubing is really just keep progressive politics out of VTubing at the end of the day, sadly. And I do think if you think politics should stay out of VTubing, it goes both ways. You know what I mean? There should be no politics in VTubing, even if it's your politics. You know what I mean? And keep the same energy, and that's fair. But if you're going to be a hypocrite, that's just rude. We're going to go to Usagi's replies here on the situation. I won't link to her. If you really want to find her, you can find her. I'm not going to say they're Satan from this or anything, because I could really be joking, but I do think it has a bit of attention sinking to it, especially with how they do this, and I do think it's a bit weird, at the very least. I personally wouldn't do this, and I do think it's playing with fire. People need to learn how to take jokes. I shouldn't have deleted the tweet, but it looks like I really do need to come out of me in World War II aesthetic. See, that's the thing she says there. World War II aesthetic, not as a because it's very different just having that aesthetic of World War II, World War One, or whatever like that, compared to going, I'm gonna dress up as a They're very different things. Shout out to Trash Say for giving me the exposure and resolve to look for an artist to get this done. Yes, I mean cute and aesthetics. And you mean aesthetics? If you're gonna be a little bitch, do it with your child chest. Don't be what you mean. You wanted to be drawn as a and that ain't funny. Never has been. You own it. Be an adult. You're a freaking pussy. And as it stands. That's the thing. This is like a very real thing that you're gonna get criticized for, because it's close to home, and it's also for a lot of people. But also, it's not an aesthetic per se. Like World War II is an aesthetic, but I wouldn't say being an is an aesthetic. And yeah, I would say block and move on like the other person did from the situation. But I think saying people are sensitive because this stuff is a bit was like a grenade of a joke. It didn't even have like a punchline. It was just like a brain fart. So of course people are gonna be like, that's a bit weird, bro. But again, dark jokes, if you make a dark joke and it may not land, you have to be ready for criticism. You know what I mean? That's just life. Then they double down. There was also some posts here saying she was going to do it as a lolly and some other stuff, but I don't see it here. Maybe I just missed it or I'm blind. And that's the post that kind of gave me the vibe. She's like doing it for a certain demographic and to get attention a bit. This is the last post I'm thinking of. I'm gonna something like this, but with cleavage and smug. And they are very sussy. I swear, Fazless is everywhere. He's like right behind me. Bro, you are everywhere in every post. Sorry if you're watching this, but bro, you are everywhere. Honestly, I feel like it's just such a weird take. I don't know why. There are so many countries, there's so much World War II, and honestly, I think it's in kind of bad taste to do any country properly. I feel like you should just have like a theme of a World War II outfit as a VTuber, and like, don't connect with any country majorly. Just keep the vibe, the aesthetic of the outfit and the look of World War II. Like they kind of do in anime, where they take inspiration from things, but they're not like, bro, I'm actually a Russian soldier and I believe in blah, 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 blah. You know, that's like too Pacific and too weird, you know? I don't really get why. But honestly, that's just my opinion on this. Apparently, I'm blocked. I've never interacted with this person. I've never seen them. I just scrolled up into Prawn on their page. Oops. So I have no idea who they are. But I thought their posts were locked. They let me see their stuff, but they have me blocked. Very interesting. I've never heard of this person until right now. But yeah, so I find this situation, being they are such a small VTuber, it's amazing it even got around. And I do think it's kind of silly. And this could have been completely avoided by saying, I'm doing World War II instead of N. And I just find, it's like, why? It's just like such a bro why moment. And I'm just going to say here what I always say with dark jokes, air quotes jokes, because honestly, jokes need a punchline. There was no real major joke there. Like I said, it's like more of a brain fart. With narc jokes, you have to expect a lot of people won't find it funny because they are niche takes and niche comedy. It's not for everyone. So if you're not willing to offend someone with a dark joke, don't make dark jokes. Okay, if you're afraid of backlash, don't do it. You can't force people to be comfortable with what you like because you think it's funny, especially something like that. A lot of people are going to disagree with you, and that's just life. And I think it's fine to disagree with them in this one. I personally would never have done this. It's a bit weird, and for the reasons mentioned, I think it's a bit odd thing to do, especially as a VTuber. Next, I think dressing up as a as a very specific part of World War II and like identifying with a niche part of a country's culture is like a little odd, especially when it's so negatively perceived, if that's the right word to use it. But again, if you're gonna be edgy, you're gonna get edgy responses. And if you don't have the stomach for it and you're, like they say, a pussy, don't do it. So I would say this is expected. I do think it's a bit of a nothing, as in it's not a huge VTuber problem, but I find these topics interesting. And I feel like it was just a happenstance of the algorithm that's actually floated into everyone's feed. But I do agree that blocking them and saying, bro, no, is the end of the story on this. That's what you should do when you dislike stuff like that. And it's fine to tell people and your friends that you're like, bro, this person turned out to be weird. Because that's normal. That's normal to tell your friends and everyone that someone is weird. And you're just like, that's a bit weird, right, guys? It's like, they shouldn't do that. And that's it. And like the other person was saying, you shouldn't harass them. Just block them if you don't like this kind of stuff. Just move on with your day. And that's pretty much my main thoughts on it, with my tinfoil hat theory on why they did it, because they don't really give a good reason other than QQ was a joke. Also, my thoughts on how to deal with these people, honestly, most of my thoughts with people on the internet is block and ignore. Because that's most, can't really do anything on the internet. It's like an uphill battle. There's no point getting super duper invested. That's why I always approach these cases as information, not like a call to action or anything like that, unless it's like going against YouTube or Twitch and helping another creator, because we can't really do much. They're just people's opinions. They're just bad takes, or sometimes worse, unless it's very serious. It's more information because we get to personally decide for ourselves, and that's really what it's about. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that bell, check out the Patreon or all my other channels for the other content I make. I make a lot of stuff. Bye-bye, my delinquent.
Lights till the bunny shines so bright. Clumsy hot flood holds her crown, busting sassy folks she's found. Up a bourbon sight, with a smile she takes the fight. Buns and balls won't break her stride, sharing heart she won't hide. Hung to justice, heart so pure, in cases that's for sure. Plus the sussy with a wink, till the comics bad guys sink. Twitch alarms and switching screens, a virtual world, no in-betweens. Pure in touch and iron will, bad guys shiver at her thrill. With a crew she's never alone, virtual paws break every stone.